dolls, it's Andra, and today we're taking a look at Flight of Fashion Barbie. Here's her box. She was designed by Angel Kent. And oh my goodness, I love this fashion sketch. Her box is slightly larger than your usual shoebox, slim box Barbie box. And I'm pretty sure that's to accommodate her wingspan. Here's the back of the box. She does come with a certificate of authenticity. I've been advised that you shouldn't really show these on camera because of scammers using them to fake sales and things. So I'm not going to show you what it looks like, but it is a platinum label Barbie. Mine is number 1557 out of 5,000. This doll was made to order, so I kind of wonder how they came up with that edition size of 5,000 since it's a perfectly round number. I wonder if they added in a few pieces to round it out, or if there was a cap or something. This is one of my all-time favorite dolls. I love her so much, and I don't think I'll ever get rid of her. Even though I'm not into duplicates, every time I see her for sale, I just want to buy her again. She was released in 2020, but her concept started in 2019 during the 2019 Doll Design Showdown. So basically 4 concept sketches were shown. I'll pop them on the screen right now. The members were told to vote on which one they wanted to see made. So she won the vote, and personally I'm so glad she did because she is my favorite by a landslide. Like, I don't know what it is about this doll, but it just speaks to me. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but it's kind of a feeling as though something were made specifically for you. Although, of course, it wasn't, but you know, it just feels like it checks all the boxes, and it speaks to you, even if it's not perfect. So that's what this doll is for me. This is the first time that we see the Odile face sculpt. It's only been used twice. The second time on last year's Redhead Holiday Barbie. That one was a little bit more exclusive than the other 4. I am a big fan of this face sculpt, as you can probably tell by my username. She is on the JLo body, offering some posability without ugly joints. She can move at her wrist, her elbows, her shoulders, her legs, and her head. Starting off strong at the top, we have this headpiece, which is crazy beautiful to me. It is this bluish, purplish, it kind of slightly has a shift in color. Not exactly, I don't know, but the finish is so interesting. So it dangles down to her forehead, and it comes up from this gorgeous little tiara, which sits very firmly on her head, but you can remove if you want. Like, this camera is not doing it justice. It is a really gorgeous piece. I think it's so unique, and I just love all the little detailed sculpting on it. When we look at her hair, there's even more detail. At first glance, it just looks like 2 pigtails, but if you have a closer look, there's a little braided section right here, and then another one right here, which they didn't have to do, but it just adds that extra texture and elevates the design as a whole. So the hair just comes down into 2 pieces down the back, and it is sleek and soft and jet black, which really pops off against her super pale skin. And then we have her earrings, which complement her headpiece so well. Again, they have this sort of metallic looking feel to them, but not exactly, with a similar sort of diamond-esque motif going on. The shapes are just perfect for each other. I think it's so classy that they did it in silver instead of popping it with the same blue. I think it makes all the difference. Elephant in the room, obviously these huge wings, which are glorious. They're a big standout piece in my collection, and they hold up so well. Here's a closer look at them. They are hollow. I don't know if hollow is the right word, but basically these are printed fabric applique metallic foil on top. These are kind of like a netted fabric. They're sewn together on this tiny spot. You could probably cut them off pretty easily, but personally I like how it gives a little more shape to the wings, so I'm keeping them in. And here's a look at that iridescence again. You can kind of understand the type of material based on the sounds that it's making. And she wears her wings using these two black hair tie-esque bands. It's fingerless gloves, which are again removable, and they come to a point right here, which again, I think the shapes in this outfit are so perfect. There's just a certain vibe that seems to connect with all the different pieces. And then her fingernails are painted. Her fishnet gloves do seem to be constructed pretty well. You don't see any stragglers, everything's pretty uniform. You can see that they finished off the edges, and I think this is a piece that should last a while if you're not crazy with it. Her bodice is a soft material with a couple of darts and lacing to string together the deep neckline. There is a printed pattern on her bodice, and I think it's supposed to give the impression of wings, just a loose impression and feel. And then moving further down, her mermaid gown is this flurry of blue feathers in different tones or shades, which is really nice. I think that gives them extra dimension, even though they're flat. It would be really cool if they could have done like 3D feathers, but that would cost a whole lot. And at the same time, I think it ties really perfectly with the color of the wings. Scattered all across the mermaid skirt are these foil. They're silvery and very reflective, and I think the scattering was done really well too, because it alludes to the movement of the flurry of feathers and kind of dissipating out. I wouldn't say these are the most artfully executed, but they do the job. There's no hemming or anything, it's just raw and it kind of flays out like that. So the front is a little bit shorter, and then we have the back tendrils trailing off, which again I think is really great for alluding to movement in this piece. I don't think this fabric necessarily needs hemming because it's so thin and it's not the sort of material to unravel. And underneath there is a second layer. This fabric is different, it's stiffer and it's a little bit crunchier. This is a lot softer. And she does also come with a stand, by the way. Her shoes are very plain and simple. They're just black pumps, which I think are fine, especially since we're not seeing them. It would have been cool if they could have carried on this sort of design into the shoes. At the same time, we wouldn't really have seen them, so. Okay, moving around to the back. Here's a better look at her hair. And the back of her wings does have a printed pattern. Just a bunch of blue feathers. There's nothing really special at the back. It's just plain black. If they wanted to do better, they could have probably scattered a little bit more of those silver pieces to the back. They could have made the doll feel a little bit more luxe if they'd also replaced the foil with some sort of 3D gems or rhinestones or something like that. So those are my thoughts on Flight of Fashion Barbie by Angel Kent. She is one of my favorite dolls, even though I know she's not perfect and she's not the highest quality, but I really do love her, and I think that's what matters. I hope you guys found this video informative or interesting at least. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.